It was a city of Albuquerque multi-million-dollar construction project with a dark side. Now the city has agreed to pay a massive fine for intentionally violating federal safety regulations.
Tonight, investigative reporter Larry Barker follows up on the danger zone.
Is it fair to say that what happened there was wrong? The city of Albuquerque knew it was wrong and they went ahead and did it anyway?
Yes.
We never meant or intentionally meant to put anybody at risk.
The implications are huge.
It's a showpiece complex designed to tackle Albuquerque's homeless problem. City officials bought an old hospital building, renovated it, and $36 million later, the Gateway Center at Gibson Health Hub was born.
Ask anyone around City Hall about the Gateway Center and they'll give you an earful. They say this is more than just a homeless shelter. They say it's a place where Albuquerque's itinerant population can expect a host of social services, from overnight beds to medical and behavioral health care. But there's a dark side to the Gateway Center, and it's something city officials don't like to talk about. It's a secret buried behind the walls of this antiquated structure.
After purchasing the outdated hospital building, the city spent $9.5 million renovating it. But the one thing they did not count on was asbestos. Back in the 50s, when the Loveless Clinic was constructed, asbestos was commonly used in building materials. Because exposure to the hazardous material can be deadly, stringent federal regulations govern the renovation of old buildings containing asbestos. Only specially trained work crews are allowed to remediate asbestos. Full body suits, respirators, gloves, and boots are required. Asbestos debris must be bagged and disposed of in a designated hazardous waste landfill. But rather than comply with the regulations, city officials ignored them. Christy Peck heads up New Mexico's Occupational Health and Safety Bureau.
We had received several complaints that employees were being exposed to asbestos because demolition work was being done without following asbestos remediation practices. It's a serious allegation, so that's when we stepped in.
The state's OSHA Bureau launched an investigation.
In this case, we determined that the city of Albuquerque had a plain indifference towards the Gateway Center and the fact that it had asbestos-containing material. And the city willfully disregarded that and continued on with construction as normal, as if there was no asbestos-containing material in the areas they were working.
And that's a big deal.
Huge.
OSHA investigators found Albuquerque's violations were not just mistakes or lapses in judgment. OSHA found the city willfully disregarded the health and safety of employees and the public. When city risk managers found reckless construction on the Gateway Center's second floor, they directed work crews to stop immediately.
And did the city of Albuquerque stop at that point?
They did not.
Was that an egregious violation?
Yes, and that's why we issued the 2 willful, serious violations.
Albuquerque was cited for 6 federal safety violations, including a failure to protect employees from exposure to hazardous materials and improper disposal of asbestos waste.
Those construction workers, they didn't know that they were being exposed to asbestos because the city failed to identify that as an asbestos-containing regulated area.
In a settlement agreement, Albuquerque will pay a $219,000 penalty. In addition, the city will spend $94,000 for asbestos testing and training experts, as well as another $180,000 over 3 years to provide medical monitoring for potentially exposed city workers and contractors.
We will hold every employer accountable for failing to protect their employees for any hazards, and specifically for asbestos exposure in the workplace.
There was never an intention or a willfulness on our part to put anybody's safety in danger.
Kevin Suriso is Albuquerque's chief financial officer.
Lessons learned. All of us have a heightened awareness of asbestos. We've trained our staff. We have a more robust system for bringing complaints forward. Folks know and understand the importance of these complaints and to take them very seriously. And so those are some of the changes that we've made to make sure or ensure that this doesn't happen again.
OSHA fined the Gateway Center's general contractor, Consolidated Builders of New Mexico, $331,000 for its role in the asbestos violations. An out-of-court settlement in that case has not been finalized.
I will tell you that the training we have given our employees, the awareness that everyone has, I mean, even at the highest level in city government, I am the CFO talking to you about asbestos, and I am well aware of the challenges, the dangers with older buildings and asbestos, and I will assure you our staff have been trained. They know what to look for. This should not happen again, and I'm confident that we have taken steps necessary to mitigate risk going forward.
We're doing inspections, and we're going to cite employers as applicable for the hazards that we find, and we're going to hold every single one of those employers accountable, no matter who they are.
Even a big city like the city of Albuquerque.
Even a big city like the city of Albuquerque or a small municipality, we're looking at everybody, and we want to make sure that all employers are providing a safe working environment for their employees.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
To see a copy of the OSHA complaint and the City of Albuquerque settlement agreement, go to alwayson, krqe.com.